I mean, seriously, just think about it for a second. At the end of the day, when you sit back, you evaluate the two franchises, the two dynasties, and what these quarterback and coaches did together. Who's more impressive?
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and gotta toss them.
I think we're coming to a point where that's a legitimate question. That is a legitimate question. Between the two dynasties, when you look at the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and then you look at the Patriots, Brady and Belichick, which dynasty was more impressive? Hey, let's get right into it. Athletes Forum podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Jamal, your host. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment, like the video, share with a friend, and let's talk it out. Let's dive right into it. Let's not waste any time. The Chiefs, what they did this past Sunday was just incredible. You know, we haven't seen anything close to it other than, you know, Brady and Belichick, and that's what we're here to talk about. Whose dynasty, whose run, whose magical history, you know, during the course of a certain period of time was more impressive, right? Was it the Brady Belichick run, or was it the current run we're in right now with Mahomes and Andy Reid? You know, when you look at Brady and Belichick, let's start from the beginning. Patriots lucked into drafting a random guy from Michigan in the 6th-round pick, 199. Little do they know that was the greatest pick we've seen probably in the NFL draft era, right? And they were on a good run. Obviously, they beat, you know, the Rams in the Super Bowl. They went on to win a couple others, couple gaps along the way, couple hiccups along the way, losing to the Giants twice, you know, but, you know, they went on an incredible run. You know, I'm talking about like Brady, all-time leader, at least right now when it comes to playoff wins. I think he has 9 wins, losing at halftime, 9 playoff wins, losing at halftime. You know, he was going up against, you know, the Peyton Mannings of his time, who was really his only true competition. Andrew Luck came into the play a little bit, but it was mostly a Brady dominating, you know, the AFC. Couple of hiccups along the way. We talked about it. You know, you got Spygate, you got Deflategate. You know, so how much weight do you put into those when you're talking about the run, the crazy run that these guys, Brady and Belichick, I'm talking about have been on? 10 Super Bowls. I think they went 7-3, lost to the Giants twice, lost to the Eagles most recently. This was a dynasty. And I remember people saying, we'll never see nothing like this again. And, you know, it's hard to argue that at the time until what we're seeing now. All right. But like I said, when you break down the dynasties, when you break down what these people, Brady and Belichick, went through, quarterback, coach, you know, all the games that they played, you know, arguably the greatest all-time quarterback versus with the greatest all-time coach, you know, that was an impressive run. And again, you know, you talk about everything they did just being on the same team. And to think in the salary cap era where quarterbacks are getting outrageous contracts, one thing Brady never did was he was never the highest paid quarterback. He always took some pay cuts every now and then to help develop and grow the team. But I think, you know, he was one, and the Patriots never really had like talented guys. Like they had like a lot of great role players, great players that, you know, were never top 5 at their position, except for the Randy Moss era when they went undefeated and ended up losing to the Giants and won Super Bowl. But they were never really overly talented. But when you have a coach like Belichick, you can outcoach some guys, you can outsteam some guys. When you have a quarterback like Brady, who just has seen everything, he could pick you apart, right? So we went from Patriots, Brady, Belichick, maybe never seeing something like that again, to the Kansas City era. Kansas City. See, this was different because Patriots drafted Brady in the 6th round, not knowing what that was going to be. The Chiefs traded up in the 1st round to get Patrick Mahomes, right? So that's an argument in itself, right? Which one was more impressive? The fact that you were able to draft a guy in the 6th round who ended up being the GOAT, or the fact that you identified the guy in the 1st round who was only the 2nd quarterback taken during that draft. Remember, Trubisky went first, and then Deshaun Watson went after Patrick Mahomes. And being able to recognize that you have the guys, right? So the Chiefs, right, draft Mahomes. He sits a year behind Alex Smith, right? And then he just goes on the run. man's been in the AFC Championship since, right? You think about Patrick Mahomes, his only kryptonite, ironically, is Brady. Give a point to Brady and Belichick. Give another point to Brady, right? He lost to Brady in the AFC Championship. I believe that was his first year when he went. And then in the Super Bowl a couple years later when Brady would play for the Bucs, right? And then he's been battling the same guys in the AFC Championships over the course of years, and no one can seem to beat this guy, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, right? You talk about Joe Burrow. They're split 1-1 in the playoffs. You talk about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson never beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. You talk about Josh Allen, who's lost the last 4 straight to Patrick Mahomes. And these are the guys that are trying to take the crown from Mahomes in the same era, in the same prime. And Mahomes is just dogging. No matter how well the quarterback has played, it always seems like the Chiefs come out on top. And granted, that's a team effort, right? But I would say the one guy that could probably get it done, it's probably Burrow. Burrow is probably the closest thing to beat a Patrick Mahomes, right? But Burrow unfortunately didn't make the playoffs. Crazy season this past year, but he didn't make the playoffs. I would love to see Burrow Mahomes again, depending on when or if we'll get there, But this has been such a crazy run. No one saw this coming. Regardless if he was the first pick or not, no one saw this coming. And then you get Andy Reid, who arguably maybe one of the greatest to ever coach this game. Arguably, you could say he might be better than Belichick. If you look at what Andy Reid did with the Eagles, and now what he's doing with the Chiefs, you could say he has a better resume than Belichick. If I'm wrong, locker room, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. I think Andy Reid, when it's all said and done, might surpass Belichick when it comes to that. Right? All-time leading winner for the Philadelphia Eagles as a coach, been to the Super Bowl, on the verge, if not, has done it with Kansas City as well. So these duos, when you look at these duos, Brady and Belichick, Reid and Mahomes, I ask you, locker room, which run is most impressive? Which run is most impressive? Again, you got the GOAT versus soon-to-be GOAT on the verge to another championship, and we'll see. We'll see how it's done. And by the way, it's funny when you look at Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid in their Super Bowls they've been together. They beat the 49ers twice, right? And then they just beat the Eagles, and now they're playing the Eagles again. So Mahomes has really only played 3 teams in the Super Bowl era. Lost to the Bucs, played the 49ers twice, and about to play the Eagles twice. Will he own these teams? That's what it's going to come down. That's what it's going to come down to in the Super Bowl, right? We'll talk about, see what you think. But locker room, you let me know what you think, right? Which dynasty, which run, which pairing, quarterback, coach is most impressive that we've ever seen or will ever see? And I'm not going to sit here and say we'll never see this again because we thought that with Brady and Belichick. But will we see this again? Who's next? Who's the closest? Who's the closest? Is it Burrow? Is it, you look at some young guys. Is it C.J. Stroud, right? Is it Justin Herbert? Tua? It seems like it's Mahomes, it's Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, and then you got the Tuas, the Herberts, the Strouds, the Lawrence, and stuff like that. So who's next to join the club? All right. And by the way, Mahomes and Reid, they're going to pass Brady and Belichick. Mahomes is only 28, 29 years old. Brady played till he was 45. They're going to pass, right? They're going to pass Brady and Belichick. Locker room, drop a comment and let me know what you think. Which one's better? Which one's most impressive?